What's up, Wildcats? Mr. Waka here. We're going to continue reading The Alchemist, and we just had a major breakthrough. We finally met what's called the title character, the Alchemist. They got to the oasis, and the Englishman and the shepherd. The shepherd really just is happy with the journey. He's ready to learn his personal legend as it unfolds, but the Englishman's growing impatient. He wants to find the Alchemist, so we're on page 9-1, which is awesome. Let's continue. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm trying to find where the alchemist lives here in the oasis. The woman said she had never heard of such a person and hurried away. But before she fled, she advised the boy that he'd better not try to converse with the women who were dressed in black because they were married women. He should respect tradition. The Englishman was disappointed. It had seemed he had made the journey for nothing. The boy was saddened. His friend was in pursuit of his personal legend, and when someone was in pursuit of their personal legend, the entire universe made an effort to help him succeed. That's what the old king had said. He couldn't have been wrong. I'd never heard of the alchemist before, the boy said. Maybe no one has here either. The Englishman's eyes lit up. That's it. Maybe no one here knows what an alchemist is. Find out who it is that cures the people that are ill. Several women dressed in black came to the well for water, but the boy would speak to none of them, despite the Englishman's insistence. Then a man approached. Do you know someone here who cures people's illnesses? The boy asked. Allah cures our illnesses, said the man, clearly frightened of strangers. You're looking for witch doctors. He spoke some verses from the Quran and moved on. Another man appeared. He was older and was carrying a small bucket. The boy repeated his question. Why do you want to find that sort of person? The Arab man asked. Because my friend here has traveled for many months in order to meet him, the boy said. If such a man is here at the oasis, he must be a very powerful man, said the old man after thinking for some moments. Not even the tribal chieftains are able to see him when they want to, only when he consents. Wait for the end of the war, then leave with the caravan. Don't try to enter into the life of the oasis, he said, and walked away. But the Englishman was exultant. They were on the right track. Finally, a young woman approached who was not dressed in black. She had a vessel on her shoulder, and her head was covered by a veil, but her face was uncovered. The boy approached her to ask about the alchemist. At that moment, it seemed to him that time stood still, and when the soul of the world surged within him. The soul of the world surged within him. When he looked into her eyes and saw that her lips were poised between a laugh and silence, he heard the most important part of the language that all the world spoke, the language that everyone on earth was capable of understanding in their heart. It was love. Something older than humanity, older than the ancient desert. Something that exerted the same force whenever two pairs of eyes meet, as had theirs here at the well. She smiled, and that was certainly an omen. The omen he had been waiting for, without even knowing he was what he's waiting for all his life. The omen he had sought to find with his sheep and in his books and in the crystals and in the silence of the desert. It was the pure language of the world. It required no explanation, just as the universe needs none as it travels endlessly through time. What the boy felt at that moment was that he was in the presence of the only woman in his life, and that, with no need for words, she recognized the same thing. He was more certain of it than anything in the world. He had been told by his parents and the grandparents that he must fall in love and really know a person before being committed. But maybe people who felt that way had never learned the universal language. Because when you know that language, it's easy to understand that someone in the world awaits you, whether it's in the middle of the desert or in some great city. And when two such people encounter each other and their eyes meet, the past and the future become unimportant. There is only that moment and the incredible certainty that everything under the sun has been written by only one hand. It is the hand that evokes love and creates twin souls for every person in the world. Without such love, one's dreams would have no meaning. Maktub, the boy thought. The Englishman spoke to the boy. Come on, ask her. The boy stepped closer to the girl, and when she smiled, he did the same. Hi, what's your name? He asked. Fatima, said the girl, averting her eyes. That's what some women in my country are called. It's the name of the prophet's daughter, Fatima said. The invaders carry the name everywhere. The beautiful girl spoke of the invaders with pride. The Englishman prodded him, and the boy asked her about the man who cured people's illnesses. That's the man who knows all the secrets of the world, she said. He communicates with the genies of the desert. The genies were spirits of good and evil, and the girl pointed to the south, indicating that it was there the strange man lived. Then she filled her vessel with water and left. The Englishman vanished, too, gone to find the alchemist, and the boy sat there by the well for a long time, remembering that one day in Tarifa, the Levanter had brought him to the perfume of that woman, and realizing that he had loved her before he even knew she existed. He knew that his love for her would enable him to discover every treasure in the world. The next day, the boy returned to the well, hoping to see the girl. To his surprise, the Englishman was there, looking out at the desert. I waited all afternoon and evening and afternoon, he said. He said, he appeared with the first stars of evening. I told him what I was seeking, and he asked me if I'd ever transformed lead into gold. I told him that's what I came here to learn. He told me I should try to do so. That's all he said. He said, go and try. The boy didn't say anything. The poor Englishman had traveled all this way only to be told that he should repeat what he'd already done so many times. So then try, he said to the Englishman. Oh, I'm sorry. So then try, he said to the Englishman. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start now. As the Englishman left, Fatima arrived and filled her vessels with water. I came to tell you just one thing, the boy said. I want you to be my wife. I love you. The girl dropped the container and the water spilled. I'm going to wait here for you every day. I've crossed the desert in search of a treasure that is somehow near the pyramids. And for me, the war seemed to be a curse, but now it's a blessing because it brought me here to you. The war is going to end someday, the girl said. The boy looked around him at the date palms. He reminded himself that he had been a shepherd and that he could be a shepherd again. Fatima was more important than this treasure. The tribesmen are always in search of treasure, the girl said, as if she had guessed what he was thinking. And the women of the desert are proud of their tribesmen. She refilled her vessel and left. The boy went to the well every day to meet Fatima. He told her about his life as a shepherd, about the kings and the crystal shop. They became friends, and except for the 15 minutes that he spent with her, each day seemed that it would never pass. When he had been in the oasis for almost a month, the leader of the caravan called a meeting of all the people traveling with him. We don't know when the war will end, so we can't continue our journey, he said. The battles may last for a long time, perhaps even years. There are powerful forces on both sides, and the war is important to both armies. It's not a battle of good versus evil. It's a war between forces that are fighting for the balance of power. And when that type of battle begins, it lasts longer than others because Allah is on both sides. The people went back to where they were living, and the boy went to Fatima that afternoon. He told her about the morning's meeting. The day after we met, Fatima said, you told me that you loved me. Then you taught me something of the universal language and of the soul of the world. Because of that, I have become part of you. The boy listened to the sound of her voice and thought it to be more beautiful than the sound of the wind in the date palms. Who's talking now? I've been waiting you for who's talking? I think we're gonna say it's the boy. I've been waiting here for you at this oasis for a long time. I'm sorry, the girl. I forgot about my past, about my traditions, and the way in which the men of the desert expect women to behave. Ever since I was a child, I've dreamed that the desert would bring me a wonderful present. Now my present has arrived, and it's you. The boy wanted to take her hand, but Fatima's hands held to the handles of her jug. You've told me about your dreams, about the old kings and your treasure, and you've told me about omens. So now I fear nothing, because it was these omens that brought me to you, and I am part of your dream, a part of your personal legend, as you call it. That's why I want you to continue towards your goal. If you have to wait till the war is over, then wait. But if you have to go before then, go pursue your dream. The dunes are changed by the wind, but the desert never changes. That's the way it will be with our love for each other. Maktub, she said, if I am really part of your dream, you'll come back one day for me. The boy was sad as he left her that day. He thought of all the married shepherds he had known. They had had a difficult time convincing their wives that they had to go off to distant fields. Love required them to stay with the people they loved. He told Fatima that at their next meeting. The desert takes our men from us, and they don't always return. We know that. We're used to it. Those who don't return become part of the clouds, part of the animals that hide in the ravines and of the water that comes from the earth. They become a part of everything. They become a soul of the world. Some do come back, and then other women are happy because they believe that their men may one day return as well. I used to look at these women and I would envy their happiness. Now I too will be one of these women who wait. I'm a desert woman, and I'm proud of that. I want my husband to wander as free as the wind that shapes the dunes. And if I have to, I will accept the fact that he has become a part of the clouds and the animals and the water of the desert. The boy went to look for the Englishman. He wanted to tell him about Fatima. He was surprised when he saw that the Englishman had built himself a furnace outside his tent. It was a strange furnace, fueled by firewood, with transparent flask heating the top. As the Englishman stared out the desert, his eyes seemed brighter than they had when he was reading his books. This is the first phase of the job, he said. I have to separate out the sulfur. To do that successfully, I must have no fear of failure. It was my fear of failure that kept me from attempting the master work. Now I'm beginning what I could have started 10 years ago, but I'm happy at least I didn't wait 20 years. He continued to feed the fire, and the boy stayed on until the desert turned pink in the setting sun. He felt the urge to go to the desert to see if its silence held the answers to his questions. So we're on page 99. I hope you guys are enjoying the book. I'm enjoying the book, and I miss you. Go Wildcats.